I didn't feel like I was the same nigga, but also as a human, I had just grown so much, just fighting the shit I was fighting. I grew so much as a person. I just felt like still being Smashis would be a misrepresentation. I didn't feel like I was the same nigga. And also, I wanted to get rid of anything CashTime. Like, I wanted to get that off me and just start afresh and and do my own thing that has nothing to do with that. And that will never be connotated to that. So that even when I do my shit and I go
it's like a whole new person that's just on a whole
thing
new
that
way.
I own. Yeah, it's my thing.
1, 2.
Hi, Zingah. Welcome to Everything ESAM Music, bro. Can we just start with just a short little background origin story? Where were you born and how did you make your way into the music game?
Shit. So I'm born and bred KZN.
KZN, where KZN?
KZN, Newcastle. Well, I was born at Pongon.
Sure.
Which is like Zululand. So that's deep rural. I'm from deep. And then from the age of I think 6, we moved to Newcastle, which is still also in KZN. And so I grew up in Newcastle.
Sure.
Till the age of I think 15.
15, okay.
Yeah, then my mom's had to ship me off to boarding school in PMB.
Okay.
So then I spent the last 3 years of my school years in PMB.
What were you like a problem?
Yeah, it was getting a bit crazy in Newcastle. It was getting a bit crazy for the moms in Newcastle. And it was all too early. And I guess she could see the danger.
What did it start with? Like, what would you say started? Like, small?
The issue?
Yeah, like just, what did you experiment in? That's what I were you doing.
Oh, nah, it was just a problem. Like, I was too much for myself, I think, as a kid. So I got popular, I think I was in grade 6. That's when the issue started. And I was getting popular, like, in the town type thing. I still don't know how that happened, actually, when I think back to it. Because back at that time, it's not like you can travel around different schools, but so I'd get to like other schools and it would be like a frenzy sort of thing. So by the time I was like in high school in grade 9, because that's when she shit me. And that's when I was starting to fuck with the rap. I can say fuck, right?
Yeah, of course. I'm chilling here, bro.
That's when I started fucking with the rap, and like, so like niggas kind of forced me to rap, like, as a kid. Like when I got to high school, I remember in grade 8, there was some niggas who heard, well, I fucked with hip hop and everything, but there were niggas who like, as soon as I got there, were like, yo, you rap, right? And I was like,
that's
nah.
how you didn't even rap.
Nah, I don't rap. Like I had thought of rapping at some point, and at some point in like grade probably 7, we like rapped a little with like my friends, but I wasn't a rapper. It's not, I didn't walk around as a rapper, not in my mind. So when they asked me, I was like, nah. But then niggas were like, nah, fuck that, you rap. Niggas were like, nah, you rap, we know you,
rap.
Niggas were like, nah, we know you. We know you from your primary school, you rap. Niggas were like, okay, you're gonna fuck with us. So I also was just like, all right. So that's how that started. So that also put me, and those niggas were like in grade 9, 10. Yeah. So that put me in those circles.
And then fast forward to like, because this is when I first heard of you, like the Cashtime Fam days, you know what I mean?
Cashtime.
Like how did that come about? How did the group form? How did you guys meet tear gas and all that type of stuff, you know? Okay,
so so those are the problems that were happening. That was becoming a bit problematic in the city. So my mom ships me to PNP. So I do grade 10, level 10. I mean 12.
12 rapping.
Nah, because that's like, PMB is like an hour from Durban. So the culture that side is very like, it's very calm, very. So I was that nigga. So even when I got there, I ended up being that nigga in that town and running that town. By the time I was in matric, that's why then my mom's they shipped me to Jersey. So that's how I ended up in Jersey. Because then they had to just get me out of PNB as well.
Where in Jersey did you come to?
So Bram. So I landed in Bram.
The sun told me all.
Yeah, but at the time it wasn't. At the time.
Which year is this?
This is 2009.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I got here Jersey 2009.
How old were you then?
First year. This is I was 19.
19. Okay.
Yeah. No, I was 18, turning 19 on the year. So, and I'm a December baby, so I do 18 the whole year. So yeah, when I got to Bram, it was just, and I was studying at Wits, doing drama at Wits. When we got there, it was just us students and Wits. We'd all just go to class, come back. This is before there was even a McDonald's in Bram. Like we actually the niggas that made Bram. Yeah. We made like so
the original Bram kids.
Yeah, so I remember this is unrelated story, but we were at a gig somewhere, and at this point, this is Boys and Bugs had popped off. Yeah. So I think at the point, Steelo was like the Bram Lord.
Yeah, he was like the Bram father.
So we were at like some show. And so like somebody that actually knows me and knows my history, I was like, yo, does Steven know that you're the original? But like for him to even be a Bram father, does he know that you're the original Bram father? But that's like, just to let you know that we like kicked
you pioneered, yeah.
That's a whole nother story. So yeah, I landed here 2009. How I then decided to rap is, so I was mad about being moved to Jersey.
Yeah, you wanted to stay in PNB.
Yeah, I was a kid of that nigga.
Because you were popping that side.
It's my plan. Yeah, also I was killing it. I had plans to be that nigga. Yeah. So I was mad. I was like, nah, fuck that. And for me, it was like, I'm coming to the big city. The people are different. I'm used to the kids of that energy. So I was like, my whole plan was to be antisocial. And I really was when I touched down. So that's how I then decided to tap back into the rapping, into the hip hop, because it was like, that's all I had to keep me company. Yeah. I was just like...
It allowed you to express yourself.
Yeah. Because
you were antisocial.
Writing rhymes, I didn't want to make no friends. I was like, fuck even being out here. So I was just rolling with my older brother, EXO, who's the nigga who got me into hip hop as a kid in the first place. Now we're in the big city. We link up out here. He was in UJ, so I'm catching him out here. Yeah. He was the only nigga I'd go chill out with. So he was the one, because I was fucking with the rap shit just on some whatever, but I'd always rap my shit to him. He was the one who was like, yo, we need to start making joints. I was like, all right, I guess. Yeah. So he linked me up with like a producer nigga, Stewie the Kid. And then we started making music. I remember when we started making music, and we was just trying shit out. I knew nothing about making music, but I could rap. Like I've always been nice. So I remember we were having sessions at like Dome Studio, and Dome was like Pro's producer.
Oh, okay.
Pro Kid, R.I.P. the GOAT.
Yeah, R.I.P. for sure.
R.I.P. the GOAT. So even just that start, when I think back, it's like, that's actually kind of crazy. But yeah, so we fucking around with the rap shit. It's like, alright, cool. I liked doing it. For me, it was fun. Like I loved being in the studio, like trying to figure this shit out. But we had no idea what we were doing. We were just some kids. So then again, my brother, he's like, this is when the full clip is going on. So he's yo, maybe we should go on the full clip. I was already friends with X too at this time.
Where did you and X meet?
Me and X meet.
And this is before the group was formed.
Yeah,
right?
Me and X were friends already. I'm actually the one who came in with X into CashTime. Yeah. Because KO had hit me up to be CashTime. So X, I met. We were crazy story. And stories are always weird. So this is now me and Bram. So there was some nigga who was like a rap nigga, became a friend of mine. C.I. Jizzle, his name's CJ. He stopped me one day, I was going back to, because I stayed in one of the South Point handles.
Yeah, okay, South Point, that's up, yeah.
Yeah. So he stops me one day, I'm on the way to the crib, and it's just like, yo, what do you do? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm just going to school, what do you mean? It's like, nah, I'm shooting a vid, I bought from my joint, and I want you to just come out, you feel me, and be on the vid. It's like, yo, I just fuck with your swag.
Just like your look.
Yeah, it's like, yo, you a dope nigga, just come fuck with me on the vid. So I'm like, that to me was weird, but I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, cool. But let me hear the joint. You feel me? I was like, yo, let me hear the joint though. Let me hear what it's sounding like, bro. And then I guess he said he was gonna send me the joint. This is 2009, so I think he probably had to like put it on a disc or something. Burn it on like a blank disc or some shit. But yeah, so either way, I end up saying, because I kind of fucked with the joint, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. So I was like, yo, let me jump. He was doing a remix. I was like, yo, let me jump on this shit. He was like, yeah, but I'd have to hear your verse. You feel me? Because I never heard you rap, and then we'll see how. So that's how I ended up writing my first like verse for a song ever. Just ever. Was that shit. So I was like, oh, all right, cool. So I write a verse to the shit. He sent me the beat. I write a verse to the shit. Next time I saw him, I rapped him and shit. He loved it. So X happened to be on that remix. So I end up bodying everybody on the remix.
Yeah.
Yeah, the verse was fire actually. And so my second favorite verse on that shit was like X's verse. So I think me and X just grew respect from that joint. Yeah. Just off of fucking with each other's verses and knowing that, oh, that's a dope nigga for real. And then we just clicked, started kicking it, and just was vibes. So that's 09.
Yeah.
And then 2010, I remember he was at the first full clip, I think.
Oh, yeah?
I think he was the first nigga to go.
The first nigga at the full clip, yeah.
I think he was the very first nigga to go out there. So he had done that, and then he started dropping joints like that would chart on the Hot 9 type. This is when Season Scoop.
Season Scoop, of course.
Yeah. So he's doing all that.
Yeah.
Me, I'm busy with my niggas and feel me with my older brother. We doing our own shit. I'm not even thinking about that. So then EXO then again says, yo, we should go to the full clip. So I was like, okay, all right,
let's roll.
Like, all right, cool, whatever. So we get there. This is when Scoop was still screening niggas outside and shit.
Yeah.
So we get there. So niggas pull up together like a whole cypher. And he's like, Scoop comes out, yo, this, that, and that. So niggas bust out.
Let's hear what you got.
Like, all right, so niggas start busting out. I'm like, I let niggas rap. So I jump in and rap. So after everybody rapped,
also, Scoop would screen
niggas outside.
Inside before you guys go to the studio.
It wasn't a game, man.
You can't just come in.
Nah, niggas don't just come in. Nah. It wasn't no fuck shit. It was real shit. So we rapping outside. So then after all that, Scoop picks, yo, you
can come in,
jump in.
Yeah.
So then we all jump in. So that then becomes my first time on the full clip. I get there, I body it. Niggas wild out, niggas talking about, yo, pull back up next week.
Yeah.
Like, all right. So I end up going on like a 4 or 5 week run, just always coming out there, crazy. Just fucking it up and just like trending on Facebook, I guess, on like Thursday nights.
Yeah.
But just like some student shit and just, you know, it was early days. But then on the third week I was there. Tear Gas was there, and they were dropping like their CashTime mixtape. They had a CashTime mixtape that they put out after the Darko Blue album, when they had won the Summers and all that, because they were on fire at the time. Darko Blue, I remember, was like, I was bumping that shit in the whip. I had the original disc. That's when they didn't trouble me and all that. So after they had won the Summers, they had done the tape as a celebration of sorts. Yeah. Of like having won and to. So they were there on that night, releasing their tape.
The mixtape, sure,
They didn't even put it out that they were looking for artists, but I guess they were.
But they were on the lookout. They were low key, sure.
So that's where KO first heard me. That's where they discovered me. So on that night, I was there. I pulled up.
So he discovered you first before he found the other two members of the group.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's what he said to me. He said to me, like, but it's a fact. He said to me, so when he heard me that night, I guess he decided. For me, I was just a fan. I met niggas, took a pic, and I went home. I was just cool. I fucked it up. I did my thing. I went home. I didn't know nothing.
Yeah.
And then he called me probably 3 weeks after that, and was like, "Yo, we're doing it.
We're doing this CashTime thing.
Boom, bam, bam." I was like, "What? That's fucking crazy." Because when on the night, when I took the snap with him, he had just dabbed me and said, "Yo, that shit was fire." You know, and he was like, "Yo, maybe, one day, you never know." And I was like, I thought that was dope. And I was like, and I'm thinking a feature too. But I'm also like, that's also far-fetched. But just the fact that he said it, I was like,
your mind couldn't go that far. You were just like, okay,
at all, my nigga. At all. For me, it's like, I've just been rapping for 2 years at this point. It's 2009, 2010. So this is actually 2010. This happened in 2010. So I've been rapping for a year, actually. I just...
you're new to the state, you're new to Joburg,
I'm not even thinking. So it calls me after 3 weeks, "Yo, it's KO, this, that, and that." I'm like, "What?" And this is in the middle of the night. Called me 10 p.m. I was about to wrap it up. I was about to sleep. I'm like, wow. So I'm obviously losing my mind. He tells me about the whole CashTime idea. And at the time, I was still a fully English rapper. So he's the nigga that taught me the Fnac rap shit.
Oh, okay.
So he asked me, he was like, "Yo, so do you rap in this Zulu?" He asked me where I was from. I told him I'm from the Newcastle. So I was like, "Oh, so you Zulu?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, it's cool. You're nice enough. You'll make it. You'll figure it out. I was like, "Yo, are you sure?" Because I've really never, he's like, "Trust me." So that's how I then get into the CashTime Fam, which was initially me, Molly, and AB Fab. That's how that number one joint happened. You gotta do your
research,
So the number one joint, which was the first CashTime joint, was Tear Gas, me, Molly, and AB Fab, which was CashTime Fam.
Yeah.
Because we put out the first album, Now or Never.
Yeah.
Which was the collective of them and us.
The new guys,
So that's how I started. That's how that joint became that. So that was the initial CashTime. That was their idea. But I don't know if I should say this out here. But anyway, so KO from that first session we did already had told me on the way, because he was dropping me back off at the crib. So me and KO also just clicked me.
Just became a homie.
He fucked with me heavy. Loved me. So he was already telling me on the way back, so I'm like, nah, I don't think the Molly nigga gonna work out. I'm thinking we might need another nigga. So I already was then suggesting X. I was like, yo.
Because I know this guy.
I'm like, yo, there's a friend of mine who's, if you think I'm fire,
but that's actually really dope of you to spot that, because X went on to be really dope, you know what I mean?
So that's what I told him. I was like, yo, if you think I'm fire, there's a nigga of mine who's fire. So I'm like, yo, Kid X. He's like, I know Kid X.
Oh, yeah.
We don't need that.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn.
You don't need that?
Yeah, he was like, nah.
So you turned him down the first time?
Yeah, so they, even when they came to the full clip, they had even told C's that they were looking for artists, but they just didn't tell anybody out there. So C's had told them, the most fire niggas on the full clip was Ginger Trio, who was Gingerbread Man at the time, Kid X, myself, and who else was like really, really fire? I'd say those niggas. Cause who else? Those were the niggas. That's like the top 3 of the niggas you could pick from out there, right? So C's had already suggested them niggas to the niggas. So they had already done their research and had already picked me on the night. Yeah. And he heard me on the night. He was like, oh shit, this is the kid.
You are definitely.
Yeah, he was like, oh, this is the kid. For him, so he had already knew about X and was like, nah. So I was like, damn, that's crazy. All right. So we move on. Then it becomes. So we now hanging out with Kale. We always hanging out, whatever. We listen to music.
Yeah, you are like in the industry now at this point.
Not even industry, just on the side. In real life. Yeah. Like I would go to his crib, probably spend like a weekend out there. And we'd play the beats. Yeah. He'd make me write to them or whatever, hang out at the crib, just shit like that. Just getting to know the niggas, building type shit. So I'd always bring up X, like, yo,
there's this guy.
I swear to you, nigga. Because we also still had the issue of we were looking for, because they needed the trio, so we were looking for another nigga. Because we kept AB Fab initially, but we needed a third nigga. Sure. And I was like, trust me. Yeah. So eventually it's like, all right, cool. Tell your nigga, do like a Young Vinek verse. I hear him out, see what he sounds like on the Vinek, and then we'll take it from there. So I relay the message. I tell her, I'm like, that's easy, nigga. I tell X,
I got you, sure.
Just do it for Vinek. So I was like, my nigga, if I can do it, it's gonna be easy for X. Told X, yo, prepare that. And then like the next time we saw KO, he was picking me up in Bram. So I brought X out. I was like, yo, X is...
Let's go through it.
So he was like, yeah, bring him out with you. So I brought him out. He bumped the beat, told the nigga rap. The nigga rap right there in the whip. And we were actually on the way to an interview on Metro FM. K was announcing the CashTime thing.
Oh yeah, the whole
I think it was Mosquito's show, I think. I'm not sure. I think it was. But yeah, we get there. So X busts out the verse in the whip before we jump in the shit. Yeah. X busting out, you already know. X bodied it.
Yeah, of course.
So we out there in the whip, he kills it. Like, all right, cool. We jump in, Metro FM. So he's doing like an interview, it's just him. Yeah. Then he introduces us, yo, CashTime, this, that, and so he introduces X as part of. So that's how we were like, oh, I guess that's
part of the group. Yeah.
It's like, all right, we in there. So for me, that was like, yeah.
What do you think made you guys like click so well? Because you guys had like the hits and stuff. Actually, let me ask you this. How does the hit come about? The first hit, which is like Goodbye, right?
Yeah.
That's the one where it's like, I love that song. I used to I really like that song, classic. Bro. Classic. Like, how did that come about, and what made you guys gel so well together? You know what I mean?
That song,
since you guys were like handpicked, you know.
So that should tell you how good they are.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they were, they were the ones putting it together. They were the ones weaving it together. That's why even the picking was so maybe that's like not gonna work. It wasn't just him. Because even so, when we started making the album, it was me, X, AB Fab. Yeah. Halfway in the album, KO decided.
For those who don't know, when you keep saying AB Fab, you're talking about AB Crazy, right?
No, AB Fab.
That's a completely different person.
AB Fab, yes. Damn. So midway through the album, we halfway through the album making it, KO decided, this AB Fab thing not working out. We need another nigga. So it comes back to me. Damn, we
someone
need
with vocals.
Another nigga, yeah. So they then pitch AB Crazy. Because
just take the AB.
It was a coincidence, I swear, which was crazy because they knew AB Crazy because he had done some beats for them on their previous albums on a production level. And then AB Crazy was also starting to pop because he had like 2 or 3 songs on the radio.
Yeah.
That phone, this is like the 10th time.
Please put it on silent, dog, please.
Or switch it off or something.
Yeah.
What was I saying?
Yeah. I'm so sorry about that.
It's all good. So, yes. So, he was popping a bit, had a couple joints on radio. So, K was like, yo, what do you niggas think of joining forces with this nigga? So, he explained it that way. Because initially, me and X was like, because he's not really a strong rapper, right?
Yeah. He's like more of a musician.
Yeah, he's more of a very, very strong musician, very dope. So me and X initially were like, then he explained it that way. And we're like, all right. And then also he had the whole thing of, he also produces. So that completes you.
Yeah.
So that's his vision.
Like that visionary type stuff, mastermind.
That nigga's untouchable. Yeah. He's crazy. So that's how that came together. So AB Crazy ends up jumping in halfway through the album. Yeah. So niggas had to pull out like AB Fab verses and replace them with
AB Crazy.
But also because AB Crazy wasn't too strong verse-wise, some joints were like, we'll just replace a hook with like an AB Crazy hook. And then, so the Goodbye joint,
the verses,
the Goodbye joint was probably like the second last song we made on the album. After having put
that's always the story. Like the hits are always like, I don't know the one at the end. Yeah, we're
when
done.
You're wrapping up, when you're done. I saw it in real life that time. So also even with that song, from beat, KO was like, he gave us all the beat, was like, yo, let's get topics about, saying goodbye about this, that, and that, this, that, and that. So it was like, okay, you will write as...
Oh, like the message of the song, like, okay.
You are fitting for, you
okay.
I was like, okay, cool.
I didn't know like about this about KO. It's like, yo.
He's a deadly nigga.
Damn.
So for me, that's why I fight about KO. So if you saw the Delta shit, I know the nigga, and I know the work he puts in. That nigga's he's deadly. He's a fucking genius. Let's never disrespect that nigga. Like, and understand, me and him have had smoke. Like,
for sure.
I went through the CashTime shit, but I still will never like.
Because you've seen it firsthand, bro.
And for me, it made me who I am now. That's why I'm so dope. Because I saw that in real. That was my first experience of like a professional musician. Was him. Yeah. And seeing him through that process and making those type calls. And just also how close he brought me. Because me and him he'd ask me to pitch in on helping the other niggas when we like doing verses, and he'd always like help us.
He believed in you and like he welcomed you with open arms. You know what I mean?
You feel me? So that's how AB Crazy comes into the fold. That's how we end up with a Goodbye towards wrapping up the album. That's the hit that takes us
out of here now.
We go.
Yeah.
And then it's official.
And then it's like
CashTime
thing and stuff.
And these are songs. Standy was like the first joint we made.
Okay.
Like literally, that was like the first CashTime. Okay, the second.
Yeah.
But with X after the first change, because Molly didn't make it, and so that was. And funny enough, even by the time we shot the video of Standy, even though AB Crazy was on the song, had to get edited out of the video. Because he was no longer CashTime by that time. And the CashTime thing was actually very, very much...
People were like in and out type stuff.
Yeah, because the thing... Okay, so with AB Crazy, after that, I think, and this is no disrespect, but I think AB got gassed off being the hook nigga. Also because he had a song or two on radio. So he already felt like... I don't need this shit. I'm the nigga. So after the album dropped, he was already pressuring niggas, the tear gas niggas, talking about, yo, I'm ready to go. So niggas was always like, yo, hold up. We gonna get there. You feel me? Just let's push this handle. And for them also, off of the Goodbye success and seeing that work, the thing we were gonna do first still was an album of just us three before we then go solo.
Oh, okay.
We were still gonna do one of just us because the one we did then was them introducing us.
For sure.
We accomplished that.
Yeah.
Then we were supposed to do one of ours, and this is piggybacking off of songs like Goodbye, all of it.
Yeah.
So this nigga then fucks the shit up with that. He's like, nah, I'm ready.
I wanna go solo now.
And he's like, alright, fuck it.
So that's how the group, like, when you guys went your separate ways.
Imagine. And this is like literally this is probably top of the year after the December of like Goodbye.
So you guys were just on
and this is like
fire.
2011.
Yeah.
So this is 2011 December. So probably top of the year, Jan, Feb, March maybe. He says, yeah, I want to go. So he was like, I go. So, and 2012 was the year where the shit actually went off.
Yeah.
Because, the song, because Goodbye came out like October maybe around.
Towards the end of the year, for sure.
So it becomes a smash then.
A summer hit.
But as artists, we've really lived off it in 2012. That's when we were really like
on the road.
Because now it's an official hit. It's certified. It killed December. Everybody was loving it.
Yeah.
People want to see us. So he misses that whole shit.
Wow.
Imagine. But I mean, everybody has their own chain. So when that is happening, me and X are now a duo. At this point, in 2012, it's just that. What did you?
What did you ask? Like, because you were in varsity at that time, and then
I dropped out halfway first year, 09.
So now you're back to back because I've seen the process of like studio work. You don't know once it reaches outside what's gonna happen. So back to back in studio, everything. So once it's out there and people are going crazy, just tell us what happened in that process. What like. Girls going crazy, DMing, I don't know.
Like...
Are you mommy game, man?
I was Mr. Mommy game.
Or they calling your cousins or cousins or...
The fame aspect is crazy. And for me, it was bad. Like, it was frenzy bad. It was just like some crazy shit. So mind you, this has been happening to me since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Before the music.
Like you've been a pretty boy.
I've been a problem wherever I go.
For sure.
Just with the presence. It's just like I'm felt and I run the city wherever I go.
Yeah.
This now has happened in Newcastle. I was moved to PMB. It happened over there.
In Bram.
They threw me to Jersey. Now it's happening in Joburg.
Now I'm
blowing up in Jersey. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So to me, this thing has just been evolving. So even when it got there, I kind of was just going with the ride. It's like, I am this nigga. And which got me in trouble actually, because I rode that wave a bit too much.
What kind of trouble?
Just it's bad to be that young, that famous, and that influential. Because you have to understand, everybody started talking like me.
Yeah.
Like everybody started moving like me.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like you were the guy those years, bro.
And I'm a kid and I'm coming from KZN.
You're like 20, 21.
I'm 21, my nigga. And shit is, and I'm SA hip hop. I'm there. It's just like this kid.
Like, you know, like now, the new energy. It's like people gravitate towards.
We brought the whole. We opened the gates for the whole youngins thing. There was no youngins before CashTime. It was just the OG niggas. None of them had been in the game as youngins. We were the first youngins. Like, these are young niggas. Like, because hip hop had always been like grown faces. It's like, okay,
niggas that have been grinding for a couple of years. You've been working for like 2.5 years.
You feel me? We were the first kids. So we opened the gates for the kids type thing. But whatever.
Which is why you were saying that the Bram culture, you know what I mean?
Because I live in... So if you think about it, if I didn't live in Bram, let's say I lived in Melville, maybe Melville would have been the place that Bram is, you know? Because it's like everything gravitated towards where the energy was at. Because all the kids knew we were there because I was there. So I guess word goes around and then everything, and then Bram kind of grows as well because then Bram becomes
a movement now,
Yeah, that's a story you can't even tell because you sound crazy talking like that. But so where were we going with this? I forgot where I was. But popularity
you were just
and all that.
Like the fame and stuff.
Bad, bro. Bad. Like, so for me, I literally probably was the most popular person in Joburg at the time.
At that time?
Yeah, just as a human.
Yeah.
And just as a human, like, okay, Smashis, we see you, but just people are just more interested in me as a human. It's like, as soon as I'm here, it's like, okay, that nigga's here. Love me or hate me.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of hate because I didn't fuck with anybody. And
you said you were antisocial and stuff, so you kept that.
I understand. So for me, then, everybody treated it as though, and felt as though, and I understand it, as though he's arrogant because he's popping or whatever. But for me, it was all linked with my story. I came to Joburg like with that attitude. Yeah, I came not wanting to fuck with Joburg people. Like, I kept a KZN circle. Like, if my girlfriend that I found in Joburg was Zulu from KZN, it was like, I found a way to keep it that way.
Yeah.
So that's how it was received, and those are the type of things that got me into trouble because people in this game love it when you kiss their ass and make them feel special.
Yeah.
And I just never was about that ever. I just didn't give a fuck. I didn't know anybody, and I wasn't shy about not knowing anybody. I was just there to do what I was doing and get the fuck out.
Yeah, so obviously, like, the group broke up now. Like, how do you restructure as like Smashis?
So for me, craziest thing for me then I get to a point when I get left behind, and it's because of all this fame, it's getting to my head, and fucking around.
At least you're being honest with yourself about it, you know what I mean?
Of course, I had to reflect. I had to reflect. Yeah, I did, definitely. I got lost in the whole shit, and and also just being as talented as I am, always having been. And now these are things I've carried my whole life. Even school, I went through school like that. I never really studied, just ever. Because I knew I could do it. So I treated the music the same way.
So at some point, you stopped putting in effort.
Yeah, because I knew I could do something nice enough for them to feel like, oh, that's dope. Because it's natural, I know.
For sure.
But KO being the visionary and the real musician he is, obviously gets to a point where he's unhappy with that.
Yeah.
And so that's how I end up falling off, I guess, the train of the whole shit. So that leaves me smack bam in a position where I then realize, oh shit. So that put me in the trickiest position I've ever been in my life because I got introduced to just the South African audience on the highest level sonically, because it's coming from KO's vision and like touch and like a tear gas influenced like musically, and they at the time are making the best music in the country. So that's the level at which I've been heard and have been experienced. Period. In this entire time. Now I'm in a position where I gotta make
you gotta do it yourself now.
Oh my God. So that's when I realized, I was like, oh shit, I know nothing about making that level of song. Nothing at all. Like, because then I saw it when I started trying to make songs. And I was like, these are not the songs I should be making.
Throughout making that album and stuff, you know what I mean?
You feel me? So that's how I then decided, actually, let me fall back and learn how to make music. Because I can rap.
Yeah.
I could rap, and that's what got me here. I can rap, and that's all I had needed to do up until that point. this is what I'm gonna help like with the hook, whatever, if we're writing it together, whatever. But all I gotta bring to the table is my fire verse.
Sure.
You feel me? And that's all I needed to do.
And now at this point, you wanna learn how to make it.
Now I have to make songs.
You wanna be a musician, not just a rapper.
I have to, whether I wanna be or not. Because it's like, okay,
what's next?
Because now, because everybody's now moving on. Okay, so now CashTime Life, Caracara, and Kid X, they still putting him on, and they still. So then everybody's like, okay, so Smashis,
where you at?
It's like, oh,
is this where like when you decide?
Dirty,
you know what?
dirty. For sure. It was painful. This is where I decided. What
is this way like where the name changed and you decide to become like a whole new?
Yes, but that came later. The name change came as I was feeling ready to make my return. This is the point where I decided, hey, actually, let me
chill for a bit.
Let me get out the way. Because for me, I just have way too much respect for myself to stay here and flow up in front of the people
and put
again and again. Yes.
Yeah.
I just had to be real with myself. Like, nah, this is not the level at which I'm needed. So let me go figure that out. You feel me? So I stepped away from the game, and I had to take on the chin the conversation of, oh no, Smashis fell off and whatever. But for me, I had to do that too. I'd rather that than be trash. I'd rather that be known as trash, because then people are going to end up saying, okay, no, he's actually trash. If you do one, they'll forgive you, like, okay,
because you can't fool the people, bro.
But if you give them like 4 or 5 trash joints, things gonna be like, okay, no, he's actually trash. Fuck that, wrap that up, let's go. So I was like, nah, fuck that, I'm just gonna go
and hibernate.
Learn, I'm gonna go learn how to do this shit. It's like karate movies. You get your ass whooped at the start of the movie. You go work out. Come back at the end of the movie. You fuck the nigga up. So I stepped up. But obviously, this is happening in my real life. So this is painful. It's terrible, because these are the niggas. I was just there. Now it's like Caracara. And
now he's the biggest motherfucker in you. That was the biggest song like ever.
The first song on ESA history to get like 1 million.
Yes.
It's the biggest song in SA ever.
This is the worst thing to happen to me ever. Because also even that sound and style is things that are coming from the energy that me and
Did you feel left out though?
Oh, fucking course, nigga. I'm literally from here. And now this is the biggest song ever. This is like Ngalagasa level big.
Yo, that was huge.
Like Goodbye is big, nigga, but
Caracara.
Caracara to this day is like,
for me,
so you can only imagine how it felt for me. It was a horror movie. But I was happy for niggas, because it was really dope. It was just horrible for me. I had to go through all that. So niggas end up going through depression, all that. So fighting with the pen. I'm studying all my favorite musicians, whatever. And then that ends up building me up to, I guess, linking up with Steelo at some point. How did me and Steelo link up? On a joint somewhere. Now we linked up on a joint. He had always fucked with me, and we had always had like respect.
For sure.
Because he was, when I was Smashis popping off with CashTime, he was Chalk.
Chalk from the barber shop and
they had the show with Toles Mo and his wife and
Mommy,
they were like designers and shit.
They had a store then.
That shit. So he was cool off that shit. So whenever we bump into each other in the spaces, it was always respect. Like we'd always dab, show love, and so and then they end up coming into the game as Boys and Bucks. This is when I'm in the dust, in the trenches. They popping off, they doing their thing. So I think it was the Pega Mina Ngeto remix.
I remember that,
Konje, who's them niggas? Shit, that's terrible, because I fuck with them niggas. Those niggas are my niggas. Konje, who them niggas called?
I forgot.
The niggas from Bloom, though. it's Bloom. But yeah, Pegamina remix, it was me, Stilo, and the chick who was on the Black Motion song. I'm sorry that I'm forgetting her name as well. Hopefully she won't see this. But yeah, so me and Stilo catch the energy on set shooting the vid, because Stilo's a cheeky nigga and I'm a cheeky nigga, just on a genuine level, not on some I'm trying to be cool because I'm trying to be a rapper.
No, y'all are just fresh.
From the blood type shit. Yeah. So we are not even the same type fresh. Mm. He's very fashionista, I'm very natural, very real, very just, I'm chilling out, but still very cool. Sure. But the cool, so we link. From there, we hit it off, we niggas. We start kicking it, whatever. And this is when he's also starting to do his solo shit, whatever. So I'm showing him love. I'm showing up at his shows because we're kicking it, whatever, while I'm working on my shit. Mm. So then he goes on tour. I think this was 2015, probably. Might have been 16. Might have been 15, actually. He goes on tour and ends up taking me with him.
He took you with him? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he took me with him on the tour.
Just off like the vibe that you guys had.
Yeah, we just niggas in real life. So he's like, yo, come fuck. I'm like, yeah, I can come fuck with you. Mm. Let's do it. I'll come out before you, rock out at your shows. Mm. Let's do it. So we go on the road.
Before me, CashTime or?
No. I was like, fuck that.
You're like, I'm over there.
Yeah, I was mad. I think at that time I had a joint, Leave Me Alone. Mm. I did that joint. I remember I premiered that joint on, what was that? Turn Up.
Oh, the one with Scoop and Channel O,
Yeah, premiered that joint there and people fucked with it, trended a bit, whatever.
So can you just talk to us about the name change? Because a lot of people are interested in that. Like, what was the reason for that, bro?
I guess I fast forward from the Stilo shit, get to... Then I meet Pori through Stilo.
Oh yeah, it's Pori, right? Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But let me move it because the story is long too.
Yeah,
my story is crazy. Me and Stilo go on the road, we cooling. Pori had hit up Stilo for a joint. And Stilo was going to the session. Mm. I was with him.
So that come joint, ne? Because I remember there was a com joint that you guys were on.
Yeah. Oh, no,
yeah.
Nah, this is 2015.
Oh, this before that.
This is like that, yeah. So Pori had put out a mixtape. I can't remember what it was called. But so he had called Stilo for a joint. I think it was a joint with Cool Cats and whoever. Yeah. Right, so I'm just in the studio because I'm there with Stilo. We were hanging out during the day. Yeah, he had to come to the session. I came with him. Yeah. We chilling out. So Stilo does that verse. And Pori's like, okay, because
let's hear what
niggas are here. Let's do something. So he throws on. This is when we did Kistele. There's a song called Kistele with me, him on the hook, Stilo and JR on the chair. Yeah. So it comes out on that tape, whatever. There was another, so we do that shit, and then so we exchanged numbers. He was like, yo, you must pull up whenever and just come vibe out. Come. So I'm like, cool, whatever. I then come another time, come try fuck with him. MT was there. I can't remember whoever else. We have a session. I did a verse, couldn't finish it. I'm still going through a very dark time at the time. Just dealing with this whole CashTime shit. People saying I fell off and trying to get better with making. Yeah, I'm going through it. It's crazy for me. But I'm trying to
fight my
way. I'm trying to fight my way back. So I get there, I have a lame ass session, do like half a verse and whatever. And I leave. I'm like, I'll come back, do it another day. You feel me? Pori ends up putting that verse out like that. He just patched it up with like a bridge that MT did on his verse, and So I'm like, damn, this nigga. So I end up seeing tweets, I guess when he dropped the shit, I'm seeing tweets about, yo, this song with Smashis, Mugs, and MT is fire. Like,
which song is that one now?
What song is that? Like, what song is that? So I end up playing it. So I'm like, oh, this shit. When I went to this nigga's house, I'm like, oh my God, this nigga put this shit out. But cool, whatever, I end up whatever. So Pori calls me like randomly, probably 3 months later, calls me. This is in 2016 now, mid towards the end of 2016, he calls me. Like, yo, bitch, so I didn't fuck you up when I dropped that thing. Man. I'm like, this nigga.
This guy.
I'm like, my nigga, you did, but it's all good. I didn't mind. It was cool. It wasn't too bad because people thought it was fire. So whatever. I guess it was just me and my insecurities at the time. But obviously, I also just wasn't the artist I wanted to be. So I didn't like it in myself, just period. But I'm like, nah, it's cool. It's like, no, but you must come out there. Well, come fuck with me at the crib. He was at a new crib at the time. Come fuck with me at the new crib, this, that, and that. So he ends up giving me his address. So I'm like, all right, cool. A couple of days later, I pull up to his crib. That's when we made Get Him. So the Zingah name had come up in 2012 already.
Way back then.
Yeah. But it was an inner circle name. Like my inner circle called me that.
Oh.
It was something I said on a song by Mickey M from Tembisa.
Mickey M is actually one of those guys that did well on the food clip.
On the food clip. Yeah. This is after us though. This is when we had already come and then them niggas. Because food clip of course still was a thing and other fire niggas came. But I was when I was counting niggas was at the time, that time.
Yeah, that was the top.
Yeah, then they became niggas after that. Yeah, definitely. So on a song with him, I had said something about being hot and nicknames in a way, some shit like that.
Okay.
So one of the niggas made a joke talking about, hey, what if we actually called you that for real? So we all laughed, like, whatever. The same nigga the next day when he saw me, the first thing he said was, so that was funny.
It started immediately.
Yeah, then niggas were like, actually, niggas started calling me. So niggas already calling me that. So now when I'm making my comeback and the music I started making in 2016, when I'm evolving and now I'm out there with Pori, I didn't feel, and also the evolution over these years, because this is now like, because CashTime splits, what is it, 2013 or 2014, 2013, 14. That's when we split. Because that's when they then did Caracara. Yeah. So I've been away from the spotlight this whole time. This is 2014, 15, 16, right? 16, but from 13. So it's like 4 years away from the game, kind of. And then getting. So for me, throughout those 4 years, all the music I've been making and just all the attempts, but like away from the game, I didn't feel like I was the same nigga, but also as a human, I had just grown so much, just fighting the shit I was fighting. I grew so much as a person. I just felt like still being Smashis would be a misrepresentation. I didn't feel like I was the same nigga. And also, I wanted to get rid of anything CashTime. Like I wanted to get that off me and just start afresh and and do my own thing that has nothing to do with that. And that will never be connotated to that. So that even when I do my shit and I go
it's like a whole new person that's just on a whole
thing
new
that
way.
I own. Yeah, it's my thing. It's not connected to I kill and
makes
got rid
sense,
of
though.
that.
But then like there was a whole stigma that that people that your name was taken because of like some legal battle or whatever. Okay, or
I've never heard that. It's the first time I'm hearing that.
Like some nasty serious about
those are ambitious stories.
With the nasty name.
I've never been through that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And then people are like, yeah, that's what happened to.
It's cap. It's all cap.
Nah, it's cap. Nah, it's cap. Niggas had already done me dirty enough by leaving me in the dust. I don't think niggas were gonna take my name. That would have been overkill.
Like, too much. Come on, guys.
Niggas would have been killing me. Niggas would have wanted me to commit suicide. Niggas like also. So mind you, also the craziest thing about my relationship with KO is KO would probably call me like once every 6 or 3 months interval, and just like he'd be on the phone with me for like 3 hours or some shit, and just ask me how I'm doing, what I've been doing, and be like, yo, you staying strong out there, right? Like don't. And like he'd always bring up like Chris Brown, because at the time Chris Brown had the biggest young artist had been to was like Chris Brown's shit with Rihanna.
Oh yeah.
So he'd always bring that up and be like, yo, look at niggas like Chris Brown. Niggas made it through the craziest shit.
Which is like the craziest that it can get. AKO.
It's like, yo, niggas made it through the craziest shit. So if you really, really, truly the nigga, you're gonna make it out of this. So he'd always For me, those calls were the weirdest calls, because yo, this the nigga that did this to me. Like, you are the reason, my nigga. You could have put me on Caracara. And it's like, yeah, you calling me saying this shit, but that's like real nigga shit. That's why I always gotta respect that, because he left me in the dirt, but he always came back to check on me and pick me up. Like, yo, hey, don't stay down there. Get the fuck, pick yourself up. And
he still wanted to see you do well.
Yeah, he was like, yo, you really the nigga.
Yeah.
I know you the nigga. You just on some fuck shit. Get your shit together and get back.
Yeah.
He'd always like, mind you, this is in a 4-year interval.
Yeah.
Like maybe after 6 months, I'm watching niggas pop off the whole time. He's doing this, he's doing that. He's taking Summers' going first video, 1 million views. He's doing all this. I'm like, I'm left out of all of this. And then once every 6 months, he'll just call me up and be like, yo, don't forget to fight out there.
Yeah.
So, and I've been fighting it ever since. But yeah, so that's why I didn't become Zingah, because I felt like, fuck that.
And this was with the
And I chose Zingah because niggas already calling me that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's like even the Smashis thing. I was smashed from high school, from PNB. Okay. I became Smash in PNB. That's the name. If you go to PNB, ask about Smash, then that lets you know, yeah, we know that nigga. So when I got into EXO, one night we drank, we off the Henny and whatever, and we've got the lingo and all that.
Yeah.
So he just said it as Smashis one night.
Oh, instead of Smash.
And I thought, because I'd heard other people are Smash as well. I was like, I don't want to be a Smash, and there's other Smashes.
Yeah.
So I was like, Smashes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I used the Smashes. So
and then obviously now the Pori link up happens. You end up signing to Black Boy, of course, ne?
Yes. So with Pori, we did get him, right? And that was dope.
Yeah.
And then also that energy, also me and Pori,
you just clicked immediately.
And we just started going in, making fire shit. Like so 2016 we make Get Up, make moves, make whatever. And then we come back 2017, and then we go on the road in December because he was super busy. We go on the road. We come back, top of the year 2017. We're running through 2017, just making fire music, just like doing this and that. And so he's the one who got me into the singing shit too. Because as soon as I got there, he always used to nag me about, yo, why don't you sing? So I was like, my nigga, I don't sing. I can't sing. I was always like this. You could be doing this. You can say the same exact shit you say, but just sing it. As soon as he said that to me, that's when I considered singing. I was like, he's got a point. Because for me, I was like, okay, if I don't have to be a different nigga, if I had to just... So that's when I started trying to finesse the singing thing. And then I guess that's what lands me up to a song like a Jala type thing. But I guess let me not skip over the Grom Hindu, which happened just on a night where we were just out there killing shit. And I was just doing that just to show him that I could do this shit. I'm not just a rap nigga. I could.
You a musician.
I just don't. Yeah, I don't. Music, but I could if I wanted to. And he took that and turned that into a hit.
Yeah.
And so that's how we ended up getting Steelo on the thing, because I was like, yo, Steelo's my nigga. I think he would kill this joint. Because Questa had heard it. Because this is around after Questa having just done Guto and all that. So he was coming around Poise too. So he had heard the Ngamwe thing and jumped on it. And then we wanted one more person to finish it. And I was like, oh, maybe let's put my nigga on there. Because I was just fresh off the road with it. And I knew that he's going to body this.
And then obviously now you have Jala, which is like, the ladies are feeling that, like...
Yeah, Jala's like my biggest song.
Hit, 1 million views on YouTube now. Yeah. Fuck, that's crazy, bro. That was actually, like, that song that made me realize that there's a lot more to you. Do you know what I mean?
I think it made me realize the same thing, to be honest with you. That song changed. So again, Pori, the genius of Pori. So that beat they made coming back from like a gig. So it was him and Casper's producer nigga, Ali Keys.
Oh, Ali Keys, okay.
Him and Ali Keys is the one. That's why that guitar.
Yeah, that's smooth.
Like, Ali Keys,
hitting the spot.
Yes, that's what you know. That's what he does.
Yeah.
So, I don't know where they were at because I was sleeping too. They get to the crib around, I guess, 3 a.m., whatever. They make that beat. And apparently, so as soon as they make that beat, Pori was like, yo, this is for Zingah. Yeah. So when I wake up, the niggas in the crib, I told them, like, yo, niggas made a hit out there, and Pori said it was for you. So I'm thinking, oh, that's crazy. I'm thinking hip-hop shit. I'm like, okay, that's crazy. So when he eventually wakes up, because he had stayed up long, obviously, till the AMs. So he wakes up later, then he tells me, yo, I got this shit that I need you to do. So he jams the shit. I'm like, that shit coming. I'm like, this for me? He was like, yeah, I want you to, you know. So initially, he tries to trick me into doing the joint by saying, I must write it for him. Because, and this experience, this he knew because I was involved in the Mlindo album.
Oh, you wrote some stuff there?
Yeah, I was involved in the Mlindo album. So he knew also even the Maphorisa album, I think, we were working on at the crib out there.
Oh, yeah.
So I was there when that was being made as well. So he knew that I could dabble.
The pen game is good enough.
In that space. Yeah. So he initially says, yo,
write this for me.
Yeah, write this shit for me. So as soon as I start the shit and the shit starts sounding good, I think I was like 8 bars in. We both just agreed that,
yeah, it's yours. You can go in.
Your choice. Yeah. So I'm also just finishing it during. So I made the song in like probably 2.5 hours, man. Just from top to bottom. And then by the time I finished it, I knew
that this is the one.
I knew halfway, actually. And Udlomo, who is my manager / best friend, who I met in PNB when I was killing shit out there.
Oh shit, that's
he's still my nigga now.
Yeah, that's dope.
He had left the crib to go do some shit, I think with his girl or something. I texted him when I finished that, so I was like, yo, I just made some other shit. Now, mind you, this is a text I've sent him a couple of times. I'm always making fire shit.
Yeah.
But that time, I really meant like some other shit. So even when I played it for him, I remember the first time he heard it, he was just like, okay. He had no idea what it was. And I expected that. And that was the reaction from a lot of people at first. Like a lot of people were just like, okay.
Is this really the same guy?
Yeah. Okay, so what are you doing here? But for me, I knew musically it was gone.
Yeah.
I knew there's just put it. And also, that's the song that got me signed with Sony.
Oh, yeah.
That's the song when we were already having conversations because of just my track record of even my writing and the features I was doing. And they heard the music I was doing behind the scenes because they would also come to the crib, at Pori's crib. They were hearing the music I was making there too. Yeah. So we were already in conversation, but that song is the one that made them call me to the office and pull out the paperwork. Be like, oh, okay, we need to get to work.
Yeah, you got like Neither Bay in the video. Did you actually end up dating her, bro? Because I heard there was a rumor. There was a rumor that,
That's a nice, sleek way to answer that question. Can I please have that to drink, my king?
Yeah, for sure. Please, bro.
Now, we kept it professional.
Really?
Yeah, we kept it professional.
So there was like no...
I chose Nate because, let me do it out of here, actually, because now I'm going to look like I'm whining.
Yeah. So why did you choose her?
Because she's from Newcastle.
Oh, okay.
So I thought that would be dope. Also, she had just done some charity event that she is organizing, so called Give and Get Together. And so she had asked me to come rock out at her thing, right? And we had gone back to Newcastle as well and did one, and she was giving out school shoes and whatever to a couple schools. Dope shit, like charity shit. We had just done that and come back to Joburg.
Yeah.
So I then asked her, so I'm not even going to get into who it was supposed to be initially.
Yeah.
But yeah, that got crazy. And then
you asked her.
I was like, actually, because for me, I was like, we just did this shit and this shit was dope. And even better, you're from
where I'm from. So it's like it's an instant connection.
Yeah, it was perfect in my mind. I was like, oh, this is going to be dope. And then she's also obviously then doing her thing with the presenting. I thought it was going to be dope for both brands
for sure.
too. Yeah. And also I knew the song. I knew what the song was going to do.
Yeah.
So I was like,
she's perfect.
Trust me. Yeah. And I knew also she was dabbling in the acting thing too. And I knew the concept I had for the video was going to need some acting. So it just made sense.
So you didn't date her at all. It was just I just need to make sure. No, I just need to make sure.
You're good at this.
I'm trying, dog.
No, we did. No, we did. I was fresh out of a breakup, and so was she.
Oh, okay.
And for me, it was like a breakup from a long relationship, so I couldn't have gotten into to anything.
Yeah, but you guys look good together, though. I'm not gonna lie. That's why I guess that's why a lot of people were like,
that's why it came off as though. That's why the question comes. That's why you're asking me.
Yeah.
It's convincing. It was very convincing, which, kudos to the acting.
For sure.
We killed that. But it was very convincing. And it did look very good together. We do. And it would have been dope if we could have.
But unfortunately, the circumstances just didn't allow.
Yeah, and it was better off as that.
Yeah.
Because then we have that memory of...
For sure.
We killed that thing. That was dope for the city. Yeah. And, that's dope. That was better. There was just no use sacrificing that narrative, ending up together and fucking shit up.
Yeah. So what's next for you, bro? Like, are you working on any new stuff? Do you have a project? Like, what's coming up for you?
2020 changed my life is what's next for me. So crazy enough, mind you, everything I've just told you, this is probably an hour.
Yeah, you had like way more than an hour.
My story is, this is probably the first time I've ever captured my full story also. So you niggas have jewelry on you. But
thank you for that.
So, what was I about to say?
2020 changed your life.
Yes, all this shit has happened and I've been able to do, and I have never worked in my own space. So this eventually hits me now when I'm working in Pori land with Pori doing all this other shit. That's when I realized, fuck, I actually need my own space. So earlier this year, I copped equipment.
Yeah.
Fucking lockdown ass shit happens, coronavirus, COVID-19, which becomes a blessing for me in disguise, of course, because then I have the time because we're all at the crib.
Because there's nothing you do the whole day.
So mind you, top of the year, we put out Lead the Way with me and Kale.
For sure.
Smash.
Yeah.
Had we been able to do the vid and do the promo and do all that for that joint, I would have been busy. I would have been on the road and we would have followed up from that and did this, that, and that.
Yeah.
COVID-19 and lockdown gave me the... Yes. So I know a nigga, Dukes, shout out my nigga Dukes, they have a music store. So I finessed, it's during the lockdown, level 5 type lockdown. I finesse, sneak me out the equipment. So niggas sneak me out the equipment. I pay, cut the check. Painful check to cut also during fucking lockdown. Nobody's working.
For everyone, Joe.
You know what I mean? Buying equipment. But I love what I do.
Yeah.
So I get the equipment and then I come to the crib. So I spent like a week. So this obviously also is happening after that. What made me feel like I needed my own space too was the fact that at Poriland right now, it's a Yano's household.
Caribbean Pale, sure.
And for me, that's cool and everything. But I have me to create that I've been fighting for, since I'm still on that journey. So I needed to create my own. Get back to creating my own. Because I've already done the Chrome thing and that was cool. We got on the road and I knew also if I do this Yano's thing, I'm going to pop off with it. I'm going to be busy doing that. Yeah, because it's like, we all know I could kill it.
Like you are that versatile in G.
Everybody also has been just saying, we all thought like
you would jump on.
I bumped into a lot of people. Like Moonchild asked me the last time I saw her, she was like, I actually thought you would.
Yeah.
Pori was on my neck. Me and Pori
when he believes in something, he wants everyone to jump on and like we all
exactly. Me and him got into smoke because I wouldn't do like a Yanos thing. But for me, I just had to, and especially because the song genre changed me as an artist. It made me realize, artistically, the palette at which the music should be delivered. And I wanted to explore that. So then I get the equipment. So I come to the crib. I spend like a week not putting it up, right? I'm just like, because I knew what was going to happen. Like I'd already been through sort of the process in my mind. I knew what I wanted to unlock and whatever. And just how music has been coming out of me lately, I knew, okay. And also just in my mind, just knowing that and realizing that I had been able to do so much and I had never, I've literally had a career, had a fall off, had a comeback without my own space and own equipment. And I'm playing against people who live in their own spaces and sit there and cook all day. So I'm like, I knew that was going to bring a different animal out of me.
Sure.
So I had to mentally prepare for that. So that's why I sat with the equipment for a week. Okay, I know it's going to happen soon as. But what actually did happen was crazier than what I expected. So I put up the equipment out here. Probably had the first session. I think it was because I'm dropping in November.
Okay.
Dropping an album sessions at the crib. From the music I made at sessions at the crib.
Did you made by yourself?
Right. That's the story behind the whole project. So I think it was the 25th of May was the first session we had here. I ended up calling up Johnny Bass. So I know him through working with Fox, my little brother, out here in the West, PTA. So I called him up. I was like, come fuck with me at the crib, actually. So he comes out because I wanted somebody to come engineer and so that I can just zone do my thing. And he's a fire producer. So I was like, it's going to work out. Just come through, chill out, and I'm going to
handle the vocals.
I'm going to do the magic. So he comes out. So since then, what is it today? We're in October now?
Yeah, today's October the 21st. 22nd.
in like 6 weeks, I had made like 2.5 projects.
Damn, you put in
the
that
album
work.
that I'm dropping now,
Yeah.
in November, I finished in like 2 weeks, I think, the songs, and then started the album that follows this one that I'm putting out now, which I guess is gonna come out next year, which is the album that carries Zala and all of that. So so what I did with Zala is I went and, because for me, I didn't want to put that song in a project that had music that sounds like
that
my jiggy nigga shit, like my Zingah, a lot of the jig shit. That would have sounded weird. So I went and made
a cohesive project.
Yeah, I went and made an album that fits that song. I went and made a body for that. So that came out of me. I had Lunatic come to the crib probably 2 weeks after it set up because I tired Johnny out. I'm literally banging songs out. So when he left, I called Luna, and Luna came. When Luna came, and you know Lunatic, the sound is
too much.
He makes kind of Republic. Yeah. So he put me, I thought I was in album mode, and I was, because Session at the Crib is an album. Yeah. But he put me in album mode. Yeah, he put, that's when I thought, oh, now I'm making a whole, this is the music that's gonna fit. Yeah, I'm making that hit. So he's predominantly on that. And that also we pass out in like 2 weeks too.
So you're grinding in lockdown, eh?
4 weeks, 2 albums.
My nigga.
Like the hustle, my guy.
So then I end up going down to Newcastle after that 4 week span. And I was going down to Newcastle in my mind to go finish this this album. The album with Zala and all that. I was going down there to go finish. And so
just to get in touch with your roots.
I've also never made music in Newcastle. Because I left Newcastle grade 9. Went and did boarding school all the way to matric, and then they threw me in Jersey and then became Smashis, and then I've been in Jersey fighting this fight. Yeah. So I'm like, to wrap this up, and this gonna be my album, this gonna be the thing, let me just go wrap it up at the crib.
For sure, yeah.
So we drive down to the crib with the equipment. When I get there, what the shit I started making out there, by the time I made like the second, third song, I could tell this is no longer the same project as. So that's how I knew, I guess I'm done with it. I guess that project is done.
It's finished.
Because I realized I was starting a whole new project.
Oh, okay.
So I stayed in Newcastle for like a week and a half maybe. And we did like 6 songs, 6, 7. And I just stopped. I was like, fuck this. Like, what am I doing? It's like, I already have 2 projects that I don't even know when they're coming out. And now I'm making this. And so all these projects sound different too. Like they are different projects because they are different projects. It's not like I just picked different. So it's like this sound and style and mood ends here. And then another one starts here. That's why I'm like, when I got to Newcastle, in my mind, I was going there to finish this project, and then something else started happening. And then I realized, oh, okay, so I guess then that project is done. Yeah. So then I came back from Newcastle and still, I guess, obviously had to make, what else am I going to do? Still made music. And now, at this point, I even got to a point where I stopped making music for myself and started making music for other people. Like I based my sessions mostly on other people. So I don't even know when this is coming out, but so I also have a project with Topsy that by the way, so I'm going to play you snippets of like all these seasons, just so that you know that none of this is cap. Real shit. This really happened. So I've got a project that a duo project I'm doing with Topsy, which is fire shit. Yeah. So we've got like, I think 4 or 5 joints already. We're probably going to do 6 or whatever for that project. And I'm writing for other people. Obviously, I guess I can't really say who I'm writing for, because, but yeah.
You can even like name drop one, Jeff.
No, because other people don't.
They don't want people to know that
that they're being written for. Some people want to look like they really are writing their own shit. So,
I get it.
so it's cool. You gotta let them have that. Let them rock out, you know. But also, I've been doing that as well, and the amount of music that has been coming out since I've probably made like 4 or 5 projects.
Wow.
And that sounds like a fucking lie.
So your vault is ready, bro. Any moment.
That week that I took and felt like, something's going to happen.
Yeah.
I was right.
Alright, cool.
Because it happened. So bro. Yeah. It happened to me. Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to ask, because your project's ready and all, are you signed? What's the plan?
Yeah,
I'm going to drop them independently.
So, let me actually talk about Sessions at the Crib. So, Sessions at the Crib is... we're dropping that through Sony. Because I'm there at Sony, Black Boy joint venture.
Oh, okay.
So we're dropping that through Sony. This is my most feature. I probably have the most features on this project.
Yeah.
And also the most popular
Can you name a few features, please?
Yeah, definitely. Because this is about to drop anyway, so it's cool. I'll also play some of the shit.
Yeah.
Who's the first feature? The first single we're putting out is a song called Collab, which is a song with me and MT.
Okay.
So people have always wanted that feature too, so that's dope.
That's dope.
And that's coming out now with the project. AKA is on it.
Okay, sweet.
The AKA, the Forbes vocals came in. KO obviously is on it. Lead the Way is on.
Heavyweights, those 3.
Yeah. Cly is on it. I've got a song.
Okay, Fly.
I have it on my own. I've got a song. I've got a song with Amanda Black.
Wow.
My nigga. I've got a song with Amanda Black.
The one with Amanda Black is also gonna be in the project. It's gonna come.
This is all Sessions at the Crib.
Oh, this is all Sessions.
Everything I'm telling you now, Sessions at the Crib. Who else is on it?
Damn, I can't wait to hear this project. We said November.
Yeah. I think there's one other person. Oh, Tabsy's on the project too. Yeah. I think it's those people. Probably 5 features. Production is just mainly me and Johnny and the joint with AKA's Lunatic. Oh, Youngsters on the project too.
Oh, CPT, okay.
Yeah, because that joint is produced by Luna too.
Okay.
Youngsters, CPT is on the project too.
That sounds like it's gonna be a
crazy
project.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
We were just talking about it with Ujomo.
Sure. Your manager.
Before you niggas got here. Because he's in social. So we just actually submitted the masters to Sony today.
Oh.
So he's got the Google Drive link and he was hitting me up. He's like, yo, I'm playing this shit. You actually killed this project because now he has it as a project. We haven't had it as like a project and in sequence. And when we listen to it like that now, it's fucking crazy. It's going to be dope.
Sweet. Do you have any more questions, bro?
Yeah. Somebody on Instagram asked before we came here, like, who's your inspiration in terms of which
I think my biggest inspiration is Drake. I'm a huge Drake stan.
Yeah.
And I think also so I'm a huge Drake stan, and obviously the biggest influence personally was KO. So KO, with the amount of work and how well he knows the music is that's having encountered that coming into the game. That's what I've now become. Because now I produce, write, and I'm becoming a beast level of that, right?
The entire body of work.
My biggest inspiration, just even to be a musician, be the biggest, and be the most talented is then Drake.
Yeah.
Because even for me to start in 2009 was after he put out Best I Ever Had. Because I fucked with that joint heavy. Just the style and way, the whole thing. He changed the game, obviously. Yeah. And then when I went onto YouTube and discovered the rest of his shit.
You're like, wow.
So he's the nigga that made me come back to the rap shit in 2009. I was like, oh, he made me fall back in love with this thing. So he's like my nigga that I study. Like, so those are like my biggest influences. But I realized in the music that I make now that Eminem is there, Nelly is there, and a bit of Jay is there. And these are the niggas who were booming when I was growing up. Yeah, this a bit of 50 is there. But them niggas, I can sense some of where I get some of the things that I do as an artist. That this comes from the shit that there's things that I can pick up like that. So those are the people really for me.
What would you like speak to yourself 10 years from now? Like message you write to yourself, or would you like to say to yourself?
I'm proud of you, motherfucker. I'm proud of you, motherfucker. You really did it. Because I really did it. I already know I really did it before it happened. That's why I'm never too worried. That's why I'm never too worried about public opinion, or clout or whatever. Because I've really just transformed honestly into the artist. And I'm really concerned really about the music. So, and I know that I've really unlocked that, especially seeing what has happened here in this house and these past couple of months and how these projects have come out of me. It's about to be a crazy 10 years. And I say that on one of the joints, actually, there's a line where this is actually the outro of the album that's coming out next year. I say something like, almost a decade in and I'm on my debut. Let that settle in, nigga, bet to win. If I've put a decade in at the top of a new decade, then you know whose that decade is. So I already feel like the next decade is mine. Like I've already seen it just because of like what you said with Jala, like turned me into a whole new artist. And it's like, it made me realize I have a whole range still to explore. So it's like a whole, and that's another 10 I can go for. So niggas are dead too.
I wish you all the best, bro.